The big game is here. Stefan, do you want to say it and get a lawsuit, or do you want me to?
Super Bowl! Come at me, Roger.
And
Listen,
we got the picks. His name is
wait till
Stefan
they hear what I have to say about Trump. Let's go.
He lives in Colorado. You can find his ad. He's an immigrant.
I'll join that episode.
So look up Stefan to find whoever wants to sue us now.
I did get into a conversation because I am an immigrant. I was not born here. How long down the line until I'm deported? Like how? Because like I consent to the government. I'm have a master's degree. All these things. It's like, man, maybe we get rid of the Europeans at some point.
Your skin tone's good, man. Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
I think you're all set. It's been a hard month for everybody in that we're losing football on top of all the crazy stuff that's happening in the world. This is the last week of football, as Mike said right before the podcast. Sad day. Today, I'm going to be honest, we got mostly props, but that's what the Super Bowl is all about, baby. Sorry, the big game is all about is props. Like we're going to talk about the game a little bit, but we're going to mostly talk about props today. So let's just dive in. I guess let's just talk about
real quick.
Yeah.
Before we do, Mike put together a spreadsheet for us, and especially when we're talking about props, I think it's important for us to give out some props here. Y'all both have winning records on your NFL props for the year. Eric, you're at 15-13. Mikey, you're crushing at 52-33. I'm at a measly 9-10, but that all changes right now. So yeah, I think it's important to talk about that because y'all have been crushing this, and people should definitely be listening to your picks right here. So just wanted to shout that out because y'all are doing great. I mean, your picks against the spread on the NFL games and the totals have been awesome too. I really, you can tell I've been way more focused on college football this year, kind of bringing it down, which is why I also didn't do a lot of those episodes with you guys.
You notice I waited until college football season was over until we shared this information, so I didn't have to admit how bad I did in college football.
I love it. But hey, I just wanted to say, now, Eric, I know you want to talk kind of about the game, so I'll shut up now. But y'all are doing great with these picks. I just want people to know.
If you're watching on YouTube, you can see our records here. Mike and I, we got 29-16 for me for our game picks. Mike's 31-16. I'm 15-13, so I'm barely a unit up on props, but still in the positive. And
no way, dude. I think if you went and looked, you love so many pop plus money props. You probably are pretty high up, actually, because you probably had some plus 245s in there. We have those numbers too. We just don't have them up on the screen.
That's very true. But Mike, the amount of props, and you're still 52-33.
Let's go, baby.
Pretty awesome.
I may not return to next season, guys. Just a heads up.
Early retirement.
We're just gonna call it good. All right. Well, let's jump right into this game. Mike, why don't you kick us off with how you think this game is going to go and give us that pick?
Man, I am every bit excited about this game as I am bummed about this game because I hate the Chiefs and I hate Philly fans. And I can't decide I really have no idea who I want to win this game. As a whole, I think it's a very interesting matchup. I do think Philly is easily the most talented team in terms of total football talent, but I think Kansas City easily has the best coaching talent. And so it comes down to players versus coaches here. Spags and the defense on Kansas City side, man, they just show up and they're ready to go no matter what the week is. So I'm very curious to see how they attack Philly. They do a really good job protecting the deep ball downfield. I don't know what that means for A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. But overall, I think both defenses kind of show up and run the show here, especially with as weak as Kansas City's offensive line has been this year. I think that Philly D line is really going to get to them. We'll hit a prop there here in a bit. But, overall, I think I lean under. I don't have a play on it, but if I had to make a call, I'd go under 49.5. Also, it's the NFL, so always go under. It is interesting. I do think the Chiefs pull it off. I hate it, but Mahomes has lost in the playoffs to two quarterbacks, and that's Joe Burrow and Tom Brady, and he is undefeated against Vic Fangio defenses in his entire career. So
I mean, it was the Broncos.
Shut up.
Pretty
Shut
shallow.
up and let my stats sound good, man. But like it's just hard to bet against them as much as I have bet against them all freaking season and lost all of those bets too. So I'm not betting against them this week. And yeah, I think the Chiefs pull it out. I think it's a close one, but overall, I like a lot of good defense here.
What's your official pick for the game?
I've got a little teaser here. I'm going game total under 53.5 and pairing that with Philly's team total over 16.5. You can get it at minus 115. So you're kind of threading a needle there, but both of those numbers feel extremely safe to me. I don't see a world in which Philly doesn't get at least 18 points. But at the same time, going over 53.5 in the Super Bowl with these two offenses, with these two defenses just seems very, very unlikely. So I'm pretty confident in this one. I like it a lot at minus 115.
Yep. I like the same game parlay. I feel like that's how I've actually made money on Super Bowls is you kind of have to tease numbers, right? And you kind of have to work it because it's so tight. The lines are so tight. And they're tough. Stay before I get to my pick. You don't have a game pick, but how do you think this game is going to go?
Yeah, I polled the family at dinner, and we're pretty much split. Half the table thinks the Eagles are going to win, but want the Chiefs to win. And the other half, it's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
And so everyone thinks the team they want to win is going to lose, and we're 50-50. I think I'm going to bet Eagles +2. I'll probably do the same game parlay. I can't put this on the show with my record. I can't stand behind this. So I'm just going to do it in the privacy of my own home. But I'll probably do like Eagles +6.5 and then tease that total to like that 52, 53 and play the under, like what Mikey was talking about. So tease the under and the Eagles side of things. I don't know if the Eagles win straight out, but I do think that this is going to be either the Eagles or a close game. I think the Eagles are going to be able to run the ball enough with Jalen. Jalen Hurts looked pretty damn good, like mobility-wise that last game. So now
with a little bit
weeks, man.
And now 2 more weeks. Like I mean, we'll see some more props with Jalen Hurts, I'm sure.
Yep.
So I think they're going to be able to stay in it, and I think all the rushing of the football will also make that clock go quicker and blah 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 under Eagles, something like that. Kind of want the Chiefs to win, but I'm not allowed to say that to you, so I won't.
You want the Chiefs to win?
I didn't say that.
It is just you in this country. ICE is coming for you first. You just moved up the list. I'm calling to report you.
Okay.
All right.
I'll make sure my documentation is in order.
Here's the deal. No one likes this matchup. My favorite meme of the week, I'm sure it's been spread around now at this point, is this is Super Bowl LIX. And this matchup can licks my balls. That was probably the funniest thing I saw this week, which is true. I think that's how we all kind of feel about this particular matchup. My pick for this game is Eagles team total over 23.5. I refuse to bet against Patrick Mahomes winning a Super Bowl, so I will not be making picks that involve the Chiefs winning. Therefore, I think the Eagles do have the running game to do this. And they have one of the most dynamic running backs we've seen in Super Bowl history. I hearken back to when I was a child and Terrell Davis won the Broncos 2 Super Bowls on his back. And I look at Saquon Barkley as that kind of running back and at least scoring a lot of points. So I like this. They've had offensive explosions the last 2 games. They've hit this number 13 out of the 20 games they've played, which is solid. My big worry here, taking any overs in a game where we want the rushing team to do well, is that's going to eat a lot of clock. Like if we're like, man, the Eagles rushing game is what's going to keep them competitive and stuff. It's like, well, where's the passing game and where's the room for this amount of points? So I really am betting that the Eagles are going to score some touchdowns on their limited amounts of drives because both teams will have some rushing yards in this game. So I really just need them to score on those, and we'll see. I think Jalen Hurts will have a game. He'll probably get in the end zone there. But I just like this. This is my only game bet I'm making for the game because I can't ethically bet on the Chiefs as a Broncos fan, even though my gambling side of me should to win that game. But I can take the Eagles for a number I think they could hit. I think they could get up to 30, man. I think this game, if it gets into passing and offensive stuff, both teams could have a really big game. But yeah, I think the biggest risk for me is that the running game for the Eagles just chews this clock up and kills any hope of an over. So I would not bet the game over. I am putting my money on the Eagles team total over, though, which is currently at minus 125. It started at minus 110, and it keeps creeping up. So
hurry up.
We'll see. All right. Let's move to the place that people probably want to talk about most, man. I can't.
Did you just say probably want to?
Probably want to talk about?
Oh, Lord.
And the show is over. We are hanging up.
Because of a mic drop.
That is it. That's the season. We're done.
I love it.
Yeah, this is what people want to talk about. Let's be honest. When it comes to the Super Bowl, I can't think of another game where props are more looked at and bet on than this game here. So let's dive in. Mike, you probably have the most. Why don't you just kick us off?
You probably have the most.
Yeah. I'll start with one that I just added like 10 seconds ago and go with Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. You can get it at minus 110.
Yes.
I've kind of gone away from anytime touchdown bets since like week 5, but it just seems crazy not to take this at minus 110. The way that Spags kind of attacks your best player, they're going to be all over, Saquon stacking the box. I just think there's a really good chance he gets stopped at the 1, maybe a couple times. Who knows? I think there's a lot of ways Jalen Hurts can score once he gets in the red zone. Stef already said it. He looked way healthier last week. So, yeah, I just think at minus 110, this is hard to let it pass. So we'll start there.
Don't totally quote me on this. I'm pretty sure Jalen Hurts' longest touchdown is over under 1.5 yards. So you're pretty much betting is his touchdown if you think he's going to score a
tush push, baby.
Tush push. And I like this bet much better because this allows him a rolling out from the 5-yard line, scramble into the end zone possibility, as opposed to betting that weird total. Stefan, what about you? What you got?
Yeah, we've been talking about the Eagles a lot here. I'm going to stick with Jalen Hurts. I do agree with y'all. I think the Eagles' plan here is going to be running the football. I think we'll see Jalen Hurts throw the ball, but I think they're going to try to be pretty scarce and efficient with it. So I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts under 18.5 completions. Outside of last week, he had only hit here. Listen to this. I need to read this so that I get it right. Since week 3, this was his only game with more than 18 completions. This was only his second game with more than 18 completions since week 3. So he's only done it twice in the last 15 weeks. I'm going to guess that he doesn't do it again against this awesome defense and thinking they're going to try to lean on that run game. So, yeah, going with some trends here.
Yeah,
I was against it until you threw that stat out.
And that's, by the way, I need to shout out RJ White over with Sportsline. I stole this from him. I read that and I was like, that's my dude. I love RJ White. His stuff is so good. But yeah, this is straight up thievery. RJ White, thank you.
Bro, we have a lot of Jalen Hurts rushing and all that stuff. You could do a Jalen Hurts parlay.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. And you could do just a Hurts parlay and it would be fun.
Give me a few minutes. I'm going to work on this.
Start building our Hurts parlay and tell us what it comes out to. Because I'll go into mine. Jalen Hurts over 9.5 rushing attempts. It's plus money. I'm a plus money slut. I'm all about it, man. Plus 109. He's hit this, I think, in 2 out of the 3 playoff games. So for me, I'm going to steal. I was listening to our friends of the Sports Gambling Podcast, and they were talking about this. The thing that got me is they will go for that tush push on 2nd and 1. And then if they don't get it, they'll go for it on 3rd and 1. And then they'll go for it on 4th and 1. So it's you get to rack up 3 rushing attempts potentially in those types of situations. And that's how Jalen Hurts hits these over. And I do think the strategy is to run for the Eagles. And that's going to include Jalen Hurts as a running back. You don't have to worry about his health after this. He's had 2 weeks. I think they've probably even been hesitant to have him run lately. They will not be. They are pretty much like, hey, Super Bowl or bust. Let's run this dude as much as we can. He's got the whole offseason to recover. So I will take his attempts over 9.5 at plus 109. Mike, do you have any Jalen Hurts props for us?
I already threw mine out there, bro.
I mean, besides that, don't we have more, right? That's not you. It's just, okay. We're talking.
It's me. I have another one.
That's all Stef. Yeah, I am curious though. You just said Super Bowl or bust. Do you guys think Sirianni's playing for his job here?
I do, because I don't think he's a good coach. So I think he has to prove he is.
Yeah, I don't think he gets fired. I think maybe he should. I don't think he will.
Yeah, I'll say I agree with you. I think he should. It's going to be hard to fire a coach who's just got to a Super Bowl. That's all.
All right, Stefan, why don't you give us the next Jalen Hurts parlay leg we're building here? Since we'll wrap up the Jalen Hurts comments.
Yeah, so we're gonna go Jalen Hurts over 11.5 yards as his longest rush.
Yep,
he has hit this number in 72% of his games this year. So let's go ahead, and he had in 2 other games he hit 11 exactly. So that number at minus 115, that feels like I feel like it should be minus 160. I feel like we're getting some value here. I also put together a little Jalen Hurts parlay for us here. We're going to go under 18.5 passing completions, over 8 rushing attempts, and an anytime touchdown at plus 276.
Yes, I love that.
Sold.
I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. All right, Mike. let's stop talking about Jalen Hurts and talk about some other players.
I'll stick with a quarterback running the ball. I'm going to go Mahomes over 5.5 rushing attempts. I think this is kind of going to be written by game script, man. He's going to be blitzed like hell. Their offensive line is kind of trash, and the Eagles' defensive line is insane. So I could very easily see him get flushed out of the pocket, take off for a couple yards, run out of bounds. And then, I expect the Chiefs to win here. So give me 2 or 3 kneels in the last drive of the game to push us over 5.5 rush attempts. I think this could very, very easily hit, and you can get it at minus 110.
Well, I think Mahomes is in bigger games. He has shown the tendency to want to just put it on his own shoulders too, and not leave it to anyone else. So 5.5 seems low. I might have to reconsider what I put my money on. That seems low.
I'm on this one as well, Mikey. I'm on this one as well.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's low. I will definitely be looking at that one. Stefan, what you got?
Oh, I was going to add on to that. The Chiefs also don't tend to push as crazy at the end of the first half. Mm-hmm. If they're in a decent game script, and they're not going to risk it. So you could see even a kneel down there. So I like this one a lot, and I see him moving all over the place. My next one, I'm going to go DeAndre Hopkins over 11.5 receiving yards. We've seen that he gets game scripted into the playbook, into the scheme, especially early on. He's only going to need 1 or 2 receptions to get this in the Super Bowl. I am willing to put my money on this one. I'm not going to put I'm not doing the full bankroll on this one, but just a regular 1-unit play. I feel like this one probably cashes.
1 catch for one of the greatest receivers of the last 10 years.
Come on, lean on your vets in the Super Bowl, man.
Come on.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, give us another one.
Let's go. Speaking of that Eagles pass rush, I'm going with Nolan Smith, my Georgia boy, to get a sack at plus 102. He's gotten a sack in every game in the playoffs, and he's gotten a sack in 5 of his last 6 overall. And as bad as the Chiefs O-line is, I could easily see this going down. We just talked about Mahomes rolling out and getting away. That is certainly the possibility. But I don't know, man. Nolan Smith is kind of a freak back there, and I see him getting at least 1 here. So, yeah, give me that at plus 102.
Love that. I've seen that a couple places. Is it an over a 0.5 number, or is it a full sack, to have a full sack?
1+.
Okay. 1+. So he could get 2 half sacks.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Still hit this. Okay. I love it. Love it. All right.
I have 1 full sack, but
last one, y'all. For me, and Mike's got one more. Devontae Smith over 51.5 yards. I was so hesitant to put this on because everyone's on this, but it's kind of hard to ignore his stats. So Devontae Smith in his career against the Chiefs is 2 games, 13 catches for 221 yards. That's a crazy number. That's crazy. Again, I'm kind of repeating what everyone else is already saying, which is the Chiefs play a lot of man coverage because they blitz so much. And that's where Devontae Smith thrives. So I don't know, man. I might even try to find like Devontae Smith more yards than AJ Brown kind of a thing. If I could find kind of a versus prop, I wouldn't be surprised if Devontae Smith has more yards. So 51.5 seems low for his record against the Chiefs. Again, they're in man coverage. I think they're going to be the blitz is going to be coming, so you're going to throw to your quick, fast receivers who don't need a lot of time to develop their routes, and that's Devontae Smith. The dude's quick. He's lightning quick. I think they're just going to get him the ball, even just take a couple times to hit this number. So even though he did have he's had 13 receptions in 2 games, so it might be more than a couple times, honestly. So.
Yeah,
Eric, you'll be happy to know that in 3 quarters of Devontae Smith's game this year, he's had a reception of at least 19 yards or more. Jeez. So he can get a bunch of that in one.
Yeah.
RJ White likes Devontae Smith over 19.5 receiving as his long. I like it too. Yeah, his longest catch over 19.5. That gets you not most of the way. I'm terrible at math, but it gets you a long way of the way there.
Yeah, it gets you almost 50%. We're good enough in math to at least estimate and round down. We're pretty good at that. All right, Mike, bring us home.
Yeah, you said I got 1 pick left. I have 3 picks left. Actually,
you have
3 picks left. I have Xavier Worthy over 5.5 rushing yards at -103. Dude, the rushing attack for the Chiefs has been piss poor. Let's call it what it is. Kareem Hunt is really slowing down. He's doing what you expect him to do. But the surprising one to me is Isaiah Pacheco. He's been non-existent since he came back.
Seriously.
And they're going to have to run the ball to some capacity, and I think they'll get creative here. He's hit this in 4 of his last 5 games if you remove the game that he didn't play against Denver, if you don't count that. So I could easily – at 5.5, it only takes 1 play, right? So
yeah, you know how much we love Xavier Worthy on this show. Absolutely, 100% lockstep agreement. Let's go.
All right, cool. Fair enough. Let's go to the next one. I've also got Jake Elliott at 2+ field goals.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about the defense. I think that's going to rob a lot of red zone opportunities. And he's hit this in 6 of his last 7. And the one game it didn't hit was against the Commanders, where they flat out did not need a kicker because they did everything else themselves. So, 2+. This feels very easy to me. And then I'm going to wrap it up with Dallas Goedert over 50.5 receiving yards.
Ooh, that's a big number for a tight end. Give us the why.
Yeah, I'd love to. The Chiefs in general have been piss poor against the tight end all season.
Yeah.
They are averaging giving up 6 receptions for 70 yards of game.
Wow.
On top of that, Goddard went 7 for 85 against the Commanders. He went 4 for 56 against the Rams and 4 for 47 against the Packers. And so the one game he didn't hit is the game that Saquon Barkley put the team on his back and just ran wild. So he has very quickly become Jalen Hurts' safety blanket here. I'm with you on Devontae Smith. I think he has a big game, but the coverage percentage for the Chiefs in man coverage is crazy. So I think he's going to have to look away from his 2 primary targets to get the ball through the air for quite a bit of this game, just to relieve some pressure off of those guys. So over 15.5, given the way things have kind of gone for him in the playoffs, I love this one so much. It might be my favorite of the slot here.
Yeah, I'm on this one too, Mike. I don't know. Did you say that the Chiefs were the worst against tight ends?
I said they were piss poor. So
they were the worst statistically when it comes to receiving yards. They gave up over 54 yards in over 10 games in the regular season. So yeah, this one I'm all over this one with you, Mikey. I was gonna put it down at 52.5 because that's where I found it, and then I saw your number and I was like, oh no.
Thank you. We're gonna go with. Yeah, if you're grabbing this, get it on
shop FanDuel. Around. Yeah, shop around.
I think it's 52 everywhere except FanDuel.
Love it. Go dare, as the French say. All right.
Now I'm done, Eric.
You are done, right?
Yes,
yeah.
I am.
We got it all. I feel like it wouldn't end the show if I didn't cut off some of Mike's picks.
Every week, baby. That's what happens when you have 10 props a
wrap
week.
it up. It's like a tradition on this show. All right. Well, you've made it to the part of the show where we run it down. We got the big game Super Bowl picks for you. We got a couple game picks, and then we'll run down our player props. But first, don't forget to follow us on all the social medias, but especially on YouTube. Smash the like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Also, anywhere you get your podcasts, make sure you go subscribe and download all of the episodes. We're excited to talk about Super Bowl. We bring some other sports to you here soon, but let's run down the NFL. I'll kick us off. I got the Eagles team total over 23.5 points in this game. Mike?
I've got a little teaser going with a game total under 53.5 with the Eagles team total over 16.5.
Lovely. I'll take Devontae Smith for our player props over 51.5 receiving yards. Jalen Hurts over 9.5 rush attempts.
I've got Xavier Worthy over 5.5 rushing yards. Nolan Smith to have 1+ sacks. Jake Elliott 2+ field goals. Dallas Goedert over 50.5 receiving yards. Patrick Mahomes over 5.5 rush attempts. And a Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown.
Yeah.
I love all those. I am playing that Dallas Goedert over 50.5, as well as Xavier Worthy over 5.5 with you. And then I've got Jalen Hurts under 18.5 completions at -120. I've got Jalen Hurts over 11.5 for his longest rush at -115. And I'm going to go with DeAndre Hopkins over 11.5 receiving yards.
All right. That is it, everyone. Enjoy the last game of football for the season. We will see you soon with other sports, and good luck this weekend. We'll talk to y'all later.